Good morning and welcome. And we're having I guess, a special episode. So a special episode this morning on video. We know video is popular on all platforms out there, on mobile devices, on every other device. And we know about 70% of people today look at websites, dealer websites, with mobile only, especially in big markets. So we have a whole group of dealers on today, and a special thank you to Philip Lee from LESA, who's I'm going to be talking a little bit about the numbers, because we know dealers really are interested in what is the juice worth the squeeze, what's the ROI, and what does that mean for dealers. But let's start with Lindsay. She's the only lady on the show, so we're going to put you on the hot seat right away. You've been using video to interact with customers and sell cars for a while with LESA. What do you think about time on site? And how has that impacted, how you interact with customers at your store? And introduce yourself and where you're from. If someone wants to buy an Infiniti or a used car in your case.
Yeah, so first off, thanks for having me on the show today.
No worries.
The time on site is one of the key things, because that's going to right off the bat prove that they're interested. The intent to buy is there. So the longer you can hold their attention, the better chance you have of proceeding with a successful purchase. The more research options you can provide to them for their car, the better. They're going to want to, to us, it's just a car. To them, it's their baby. So they want all the information, they want all the pictures, they want all the details about everything. And having a seamless video there just really helps it. You don't have to click too much, but the option is there to engage with everything, and it's just a very seamless, smooth option for them to just have in their hand.
So has that increased, having video as opposed to just still images, which I know most dealers have? Has that increased any numbers in terms of time on site or communications with the customer, in your opinion?
Absolutely. We have increased from probably about 30 minutes to about an hour per day. And we've increased our sales by probably at least 15%. We have definitely, our engagements as well as time on site have both increased. And the ratio to the two is actually really interesting to see, because it's not just, 1,000 engagements or 1,000 viewers, it's 7,000 engagements. So you can see exactly how much people are actually doing what on your site.
All right, thanks for that. So we have the one and the only Bill Camastro. I know you do a lot of videos in your drive to work. I hear it's a little bit of a distance. What's your opinion on video? Obviously your guys at your store engage people on video. What's your opinion of before video and after video? Do you think that makes a difference?
I think anything that engages the customer or inspires engagement does, and I see the value in video. We have a very, as I mentioned earlier, a bit of a grassroots approach where we focus more on search engine optimization, and we have a lot of different tools that kind of create that environment. We use QR codes. Even our billboards have a QR code. I have a billboard at the mouth of the Lincoln Tunnel, 75 feet deep and 100 feet across, with myself and a celebrity on it. And it's got a QR code for stopped traffic, because at any given time there's 100,000 cars sitting there. But every one of those things that we do, including scheduling first service, showing the customer how to create an account that brings them to our website, and to our appointment schedules, everything we do creates search engine optimization in our world. So our videos that we do are done by the employees directly, posted to TikTok, Instagram, Facebook Marketplace, and YouTube. And we do a lot of them, but we don't do it with a specific program or a specific vendor, because essentially the way we do it is nearly cost-free.
Right.
That doesn't mean doing it that way or doing high res, high production values wouldn't change it. We have just gotten very, very good success from the grassroots approach with our search engine optimization. Now, but I'm not advising people to do what we do. because it takes a lot of commitment from a lot of people. And I'm committed as the dealer, as the operator of the organization, to doing it myself, because I do, as you know, I do a lot of different, but if the ownership or the head of the sphere isn't willing to do that, it's more likely that the Indians won't do it either. So that therein lies the reason and the necessity, which is a good portion of the population or industry, why programs like that do work, because a lot of dealers want to spend their time doing other things. A lot of the managers want to spend their time doing other things. Yes, it's an essential. We do it our way. 90% of the dealer body out there should do it through an organized platform like some of the people that you have here today. But it clearly has value.
So you've seen a difference pre-video and after video, and before you implemented that, it wasn't really doing the same?
No, I mean, just listen, human nature, we like to imagine the car in our own driveway. We like to imagine ourselves driving the car. Everybody likes that whole imagery, the perturbation of the event. And even times when we don't have a car in inventory, a customer will ask us, well, can you send me a video of what the interior looks like in a car with a different color exterior, and then send me a video of the walk around of the exterior of the vehicle. And all of my salespeople do, when they have a remote customer or somebody that calls in, they do a remote walk around and send it to the customer.
Right.
So we do a lot of the same things, but we do it on ground organically. And my social media company, which is essentially my marketing and advertising company, everything that we post, it goes to him first, gets vetted, make sure it's compliant, and then he posts it. So, but we're very active, as you know.
Fantastic. Jacob, first time on the show. Tell us about you and what you do, and more importantly, what do you think on video, and has that impacted KPIs at all?
Oh, hands down. So yeah, I'm Jacob Nelson out of Wisconsin. Makes a pretty big difference having this video platform versus some of the other video platforms that we have been on in the past. I think as a dealership, we have a lot of expenses. As an expense is never a bad thing if it directly improves customer experience and it increases the likelihood of a sale. Businesses in terms have invested very heavily in influencing customer behavior for years and years. Some retailers use specific scents. They have specific music, specific lighting, different layouts in their stores that encourage people to stay longer and engage. I think video serves that similar purpose, but it does it online. Our first impression, a customer's first impression of us, is no longer created by circling a newspaper ad 20 years ago and going dealership to dealership. Our first impression is digital, and that digital first impression has to stand out to a customer, and we have to make sure that we're making it, because you only get one chance, right, to make a first impression. So, the reality, we know that people spend hours, I think it's like, 12 to 15 hours researching before you ever set foot in an actual dealership. If I can capture more of that research time on my website, that's time they're not spending on anybody else's website, right? They're not on the competitors if they're spending more time with me. The longer they engage with my inventory, my dealership, the value that I bring, the content, right? The more familiar they are, the more comfortable they might be doing business with me. Now, they maybe haven't sent me a lead yet, they haven't sent me information, but I'm trying to keep their engagement on there. And quite honestly, time on my site isn't just a vanity metric, it's a measure of customer engagement and buying intent. If videos keep shoppers on my website longer, the odds increase that they'll submit me a lead, that they'll send me a phone call, that they'll visit my dealership. And that's why I view that time on the site as one of the most important KPIs that we can track. And I know you're going to go into this, you're going to ask questions about this, but quite honestly, like what LESA has done outside of just what's on my website is important, but YouTube and the TikTok that they just added and Facebook, some of these other things that they're diving into, the engagement isn't just happening on my website anymore. And that's where we're really tapping into. I think Will said it as well, where, it's not just about getting people to look at my dealership.com. I need people to look at YouTube videos. I need people to look at TikToks and Facebook, because that's how customers want to communicate. Right now, I'm finding that less and less people want to communicate over the phone in a phone call, but more and more people want to communicate in a different way. And I think video is tapping into that, or at least tapping into a bigger percentage of that than we think. And we all know that, yeah, a phone call is great. That's how you create a meaningful connection. But let's just be honest, a text is how most people want to answer and communicate today. And if a text works, so does video.
100%. 100%. I mean, when you look at the amount of video out there today and the attention span of consumers today, it's definitely shrinking. Luke, I know we haven't heard from you yet, so tell us you and more about what you do. And more importantly, what do you think on KPIs and video? I mean, in 2026, what do you think?
Hey, thanks, Ian.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, I'm Luke. I'm from Wenatchee, Washington, from Sangster Motors, GMC.
Yep.
And we've been with LESA for a few years, like Phil was saying, and it's been a great partnership. One of the things that I came in looking to do was just be different from everybody else. And I was looking at competitors' websites and noticed that video was one thing that either they didn't have the staff to want to do it, or they just didn't, find interest in it. And at the time, my sales manager was just telling me, Luke, you got to hone in on this video thing. I don't know how long I'm going to be here, but I want you to take over this video thing and get this on the website. And so I was looking around doing research and stumbled upon a few, 360 video things where you can just kind of circle around a video, a car and whatnot, and just thought, no, I need something more transparent, even more transparent than just a 360 spin. I just need a video platform that can do things at high volume too, with the amount of inventory that we had. And at the time we were coming out of COVID, so it was actually doable to do it at a reasonable scale. But I think LESA is one of those companies where you could jump in at a large scale, focus in on multiple, either it's new or used. If it's like duplicates, for example, you can go in and shoot one vehicle and duplicate it over to the next stock number that's, similar or very identical, and scale your videos on your website quickly. So that was one of the best things that I took away from LESA, was being able to scale at a large proportion. But the videos themselves, I still have my first review on the person that left me a review on my first video was, hey, this is the most detailed I've seen on anybody's website of a vehicle, and I don't even have to click through any buttons. I can click play and just sit there and watch it. And I don't need to be clicking through photos, zooming in, and so I took those reviews and all the advice that I've taken over the years and just made it my own personal experience when you go on our website, of just how you're going to see our vehicles. A lot of our used vehicles are local 1 to 2 owner, low mileage. They look brand new, and my used car sales manager is a little picky. He'll go, that's the dirt. I can see the dirt right there. On the door. I can
So
see
not frontline ready. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It's just one of those things where you can get up close and personal with video on every detail. You're not having to zoom in on pictures. And I've just had a lot of grace and compliments on the whole video thing. And it's just me. I'm doing it. I don't even have a team behind me doing it. I just have my sales staff, but I'm doing all the videos, handling all the social media. And with LESA, it just takes it to the next level of just posting it on social, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, all the goodies. And just website traffic. I mean, I agree with everybody here on the improved time. We're probably averaging an hour. So we've gone from 30 minutes to an hour, probably the same.
And you've seen an increase also in, I mean, obviously engagement and time on site, but that probably equates to other enhancements, right? Visibility in your market, differentiating from other people, right?
Exactly. Yeah, we know that people shop 1 to 2 dealers maybe, until they pull the trigger. And it's one of those things, you just want all your research, all the knowledge that they have put into them already from themselves to land on your website and make that decision right there.
Thanks for that. So Philip,
one of the things we're talking about this is, and it's important, I'd like to get some feedback from a couple of dealers. Response time has always been critical, and people are putting in requests for information on the website. And one of the questions I have is, are you allowing your salespeople free access to the videos? And if they are, because someone mentioned about having people go out and do video walk-arounds, and I think that's wonderful. It's time-consuming, okay? I'm a firm believer, being in the car business my whole life, the faster you can reply back to a customer, the better chance you have getting them in the store. And I agree with everyone else, all the comments about time on site, all of that's wonderful. But speed of response is important. But I also think providing in the content, because I just finished doing a lot of research for a previous show, and it talked about the buyer's journey starts where they're out there, not even on the dealer site. They're shopping for the cars on all of these other sites. So I think video and fast response is going to help get them away from those other sites like Carvana or all those other sites and on your site, and open that relationship and start building that relationship faster. So what do y'all think about that concept?
Well, I'll give you a perspective from Wisconsin. Let's just say I got salespeople who, in the dead of winter, freezing cold, broom cars. We got over 100 cars on some of our lots, and before we take those videos, just like I think Luke was saying, we want that to look perfect. Well, in the middle of winter, that is not an easy thing to do. So, we have taken it at our recon processes during photos. We do the video right after the reconditioning is done. This car just got done shampooed, just got done being buffed. This car's in its top form, and it's getting a video taken in the middle of January with 6 feet of snow, right? My team is now happy to do a video for every lead versus what they were doing, which is, I believe, Bill had mentioned, like they're all doing personalized videos and whatnot. I do a personalized video when a customer asks for it, when there's engagement back, but we make sure that every lead gets a video of some sort. Now, if I just get a Joe Schmo lead with just an email, I'm going to send them a video, and I'm going to send them the LESA video. Now, if I get engagement, customer picks up a phone, we have a texting conversation, I'm going to shoot more of a walk around video with personalization to that customer than I am the customer who just sent me a lead with a 715-55555 phone number and an email. So my salespeople, I found, are more than happy now to do those videos at their desk, somewhere specific in the dealership, have a long, engaging, minute and a half conversation with the customer about the car in the warm, than going outside, cleaning the car, making it look perfect, spending 20 to 30 minutes getting that car ready for a video that a customer isn't even going to view. So I think I love that aspect of making it quick, because now we can get our responses from our sales team. We get videos out within 15 minutes. And that is our goal. That's what we're looking for. So you call the customer first. If they don't answer, you text them. If they don't answer, you send them a video. We go through the lineup. We have a process in place. And at that point, you are opening many different lines of communication to the customer. And we're doing it all within 15 minutes. We need to get that response time as soon as possible.
So what's your thought there, Bill? Response time. I know it used to be a week, and then it was 48 hours, and then the manufacturer's like, oh yeah, it should be like 10 minutes or whatever their goal is now. I mean, how do you think that's changed? With today, and is response time that important, or is it quality of response? What do you think?
I don't think before the world of digital and after the onset of digital, I don't think that. One thing that has not changed is being the first person to the worm. I mean, I don't think that that's ever changed. And I think in relative terms, it's still the same. whether two people are running a foot race to get to the finish line, or whether two people are at a keyboard to hit the send button. I don't think that that's changed at all. I think it's just the speed of the tools that are available to both parties that are competing are now different. Before it was who had the best sneakers. Now who's got the best and fastest PC. But I think the thing that one of the things that I've experienced a little bit with video is if you have too much contented video all over your site, it slows down the speed from page to page, which is a big deal. If people can't navigate your website, that is the fastest way to lose customers. So if it takes, I think that if you're not 2 seconds or less, you're costing yourself business because people become disenchanted very, very quickly. If you get them to engage in the video, that's great. If they see a video and they like the video, they still have to navigate through pricing, equipment, and things of that nature. So there is a value, but you have to keep that in mind. You need finding that fine balance between speed from page to page and video. The amount of content you have in video, I think that needs to be very surgical because you can cost yourself business if you overdo it.
Right.
So we have, again, my take on it is it may be a little bit different than everybody else's because I'm not a video vendor. I'm not trying to sell video as a concept. I'm not trying to get you to subscribe. And no offense to anybody here. I'm trying to sell cars. We turn our used car inventory 12 times a year. I have less than a 20-day supply of new cars in the ground. It's been that way for 6 years. Now, we may be a little bit of an anomaly because of the way we do things. I keep more than the number of salespeople that I need at any given time. So salespeople have the time to do videos, quality walk-around presentations, send video. So I have some video that they can see from my site, but I try to keep the site as fast as possible. And that has been as good for me as anything else. We like to make sure all of our videos that we do, we have a different philosophy. We try to make it as much grassroots as we can because of the genuine engagement. I have competition that has a lot of high resolution, third party with the labeling, the framing, the lighting, everything. And it does look beautiful, don't get me wrong. But it looks like a major motion picture. So to me, I'd rather hear the guy, if you look at my LinkedIn, you'll see my cup phone videos, which is me just talking in my car on the way to work. Because I know that in the greater New York area, there's 20 million people, almost literally, between 6:30 in the morning and 8:30 in the morning that are also in their cars, but stuck in traffic, looking at LinkedIn, looking at Google, looking at Facebook Marketplace. And they associate me with Gold Coast. They associate Gold Coast with excellence. We're the 600-pound gorilla. We've established a relationship and a reputation that will get us the first look from a customer. So, and that's what we seek here. There's 8 different roads that get to the same intersection in a lot of cases. These are the roads that we choose. So I choose speed on the site itself to not maximize engagement in one location, but to maximize engagement by allowing them to move through the site as quickly as they can for the answers that they want. And video is available if they want it. But because we use SEO to get them there, we like to make the content of the SEO and the video in the SEO what captivates the customer's desire to go to our site for the answers that they're looking for.
Fantastic.
Whereas if they go to your site and the video is the anchor that keeps them there, the question becomes, does it slow your site down from getting the customer to the answers that they want to get, whether it's the window sticker on the car, the BDPs, the description of the vehicle, the Kelly Blue Book, whatever it may be. I want to make sure that we have a balance between the two. So I don't know if that helped, buddy.
Yeah.
Phil, you had a
I respond to that. I'd like to respond to what Bill just said. So there's been a misconception that video slows down your site speed load because everyone here has been to YouTube website, and I don't think anyone is saying, hey, the YouTube site loads really slow, because the way it works is that everything is streamed So when you enter YouTube, none of the videos are playing until you press play or you hover on it, and then it starts playing. That's when it starts streaming a lot of data down. So when when a web page is loaded, we do the same thing as YouTube. Our button gets loaded. The video doesn't get loaded. I think what happens is in the past, websites used to have huge images, right? And images do load, if you have high resolution images, that will slow down the page because the images gets loaded on the same time the page is loaded. But it doesn't work the same way with video. All we're loading is a player or a video button, and that does not slow down the page whatsoever. So I just want to address that, Bill, that's a common misconception.
You know more about it than I do, so I'll give you that. But if you have 50 people on your site at the same time, would the same thing hold true?
Yes, it shouldn't. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's.
Well, I say this. I had the 360 walk around, a virtual walk around on all my used cars attached to what I do.
Yep, okay. That's different. That's not a video, and they do have to load it.
Understood. That slowed down my website measurably. But part two is I want in the customer's behavior. Now I'm only saying this because as a guy who's been in the retail end of this forever, I focus more on the customer's behavior versus just getting them anchored on a video. I'm focusing on all of their behaviors, not just if the video is the thing that stops them and makes them stay on my site. There's a lot of other mistakes I've made along the way. That's my take on it. And from a store, I'll say this: my experience is we get 25 to 28,000 visits every month on our site. I'm sure as a single point Cadillac store, you'd all agree that's a lot of traffic to one store, a single point Cadillac store. We're not talking about a Toyota store with 1,000 cars in stock. We're talking about a Cadillac store with 75 used cars and 100 new cars at most at any given time on the lot. So we generate a lot of traffic the way we do it. For us to unwind that, this is just us speaking, right? My take on it is what I said before we got online, is that 90% of the dealers that are out there, you guys with video platforms, what you're doing is excellent because 90% of the dealers out there don't have a global market approach to how they do things. So having video be the anchor to what brings a customer to your site and stick them there is really important. Unless you have a top to bottom approach with all of your people and you have enough people to do it the way we do it all the time, and you can't afford to be that anomaly in the industry, you need video. You need it. Yep. I agree 1,000% with you. Yep. But again, we do things a little bit differently only because maybe I'm a little old school and I can't get the mothballs out of my closet. I don't know. But it works. It's worked for us for years. And, I think somebody mentioned it earlier. For us, we focus on what sells us cars and what makes us money, right? If I had to wear a brown polka dot suit and I sold every car in my inventory and made a lot of money doing it, I'd buy brown polka dot suits. Point blank. So right now, mentally, if you can visualize me in a brown polka dot suit, I'm going to keep wearing it until it doesn't work anymore. But I think I've been a regional vice president for as many as 40 stores at a time for public companies, and I can tell you from experience, 90% or more of the dealers that you guys interact with do not have a top to bottom approach in how they market to, gain people's attention, captivate their interest, and bring them down to the low end of the funnel. Video does do that for a vast majority of the population, and it does work for the typical car dealer who either spends more time on his yacht or the golf course than he does at the dealership. That is not Bill Camastro. I'm not boasting myself. I wish I was smart enough to be like Bill. But I would say what you're talking about, and to your audience today, instead of trying to duplicate my environment, which is very labor intensive, I'll admit it's very labor intensive. Unless you're willing to do that, know how to do it, and are willing to have your people do it, and you can have that rank and file approach to it, which is very hard to do. It's not worth going there if that's not your MO, going to video, because you will get the same results or similar results by doing that. You will, but you have to answer the question. If I grab their attention with the video and make them stay on my site, what else do I need to do to bring them down to the low end of the funnel? What does the rest of my content look like on the periphery that nails the thing to the floor? Because the video isn't going to sell the car. It's going to get their interest. It's going to get them to imagine that hot first date, but it's not going to end up married with children in a big white picket fence.
100%.
Yep.
Lindsay, what do you think? I mean, obviously, video is very important, as Bill notes. You obviously want to make sure you're using the right video company, and obviously, you guys have experience there. But how do you get them to the white picket fence, to quote Bill there? How do you move that forward once you engage them with video? I mean, what's been your process?
At the end of our photos, we have a little setup that they put in their information. As soon as they're done watching, it sends off, and we have people immediately responding in order to, fast response. And going back to, I believe, what Jacob was saying, he is very correct on the fact that it's very important to make sure that they are focusing on, client engagement, different ways to bring people in, things like that. When this can be just streamlined by them, it's a lot easier and a lot less to worry about. You can actually focus on, what you're supposed to be doing, and even maybe getting more creative past that. I come from a dealership that is also, only about 60 cars a month. We were in Infinity, so we faced a couple of cars going away this past year, and we just got the TX65 back. So we had to face a couple of budget cuts as well. And in the meantime of those budget cuts, LESA has managed to make up those. We never really fell on numbers. We just kind of rolled over to using LESA, and now our sales consultants are constantly engaging with customers. There's no them sitting outside fighting with cars, finding keys, doing this, doing that. Everything's there at their whim.
Thanks for that. We have a special message from Lisa and a special offer. I'm just going to play that right now. Takes a sec.
Dealers are spending more money than ever to drive traffic to their site. Paid ads, SEO, digital marketing. But what happens after shoppers land on your site? Too often they just bounce before becoming a real lead. Why? Because static photos and text alone are not enough to keep today's buyers engaged. That is where LESA vehicle video merchandising comes in. Hi, I'm Phil Lee. LESA helps bring your inventory to life with engaging vehicle videos that keep your shoppers on your website longer, build trust faster, and turn more browsers into buyers. And the numbers are powerful. With video, dealerships can see shoppers spend up to 5 times longer on site, view 3 times more pages, and generate up to 2 times more lead conversions. That means more engagements, more trust, more showroom traffic, and more sales opportunities. In 2026, video is no longer just a nice to have. It's a game changer for dealerships that want to compete online. Right now, LESA is offering a special offer, your first month for free. So don't let expensive website traffic bounce before it turns into business. Bring your inventory to life, keep your shoppers engaged, and give your dealership a competitive advantage with LESA.
Thanks for that. So, Jacob, what's been your lead response time? What's been your thoughts there?
Yeah, so like I said, before, we have our salespeople within 15 minutes getting a video out. We're able to track those things in LESA. We're able to make sure that if a customer requires something more than just the video that we created at time of reconditioning, that our salespeople are going out and shooting more of the custom videos, kind of like Bill was saying, right? And those are huge, because once you customize something for a customer, it means something. Like, it's tit for tat type of situation from a customer standpoint. So we're making sure that, you know, if you get a lead, it's responded to in a specific way. We have a process for everything. So like I was saying, from a call, text, video, we're seeing a lot of responses come back through that video, which is great. People clicking on the call button, people clicking through the chat section of it. And I think it's just opening better lines of communication for our customers. We're finding, you know, 10 years ago, a customer was really apt to pick up a phone and have a conversation, a meaningful conversation. Because let's just be honest, the best way to get in touch with somebody, have a really good, meaningful conversation, is by picking up the damn phone. 10 years, fast forward 10 years, people don't want to pick up their phones. I don't want to. If you're important, you're going to text me, right? So texting has been the new norm. But I think communication is that next step is video. So, you know, if we're not reaching them via phone first, which again, meaningful connection, I'm going to try a text. That text is going to include a video. That video is going to bring them to a landing page that brings them back to me. They choose. We're letting the customers choose the form of communication that they want in a car deal without them even knowing it. And I love that aspect of it. So that's where it sticks out to me. But you know, like Bill had said too, you have to get in touch with these customers immediately. It's no longer 48 hours. It's no longer a day. The first of the worm is the one who gets to eat. So I love that. It's a great analogy. That I like to think about more than anything else.
Yeah. So the sneaks don't help anymore. I get it. Luke, what do you think, Luke? Even the fancy sneakers don't help with the pump up thing. Yeah.
The suit, the polka dot suit might help.
Yeah, polka dot suit may help. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with Jacob and Bill on both sides. I think speed matters, but personalization matters more. You know, having all forms of communication is the way to go. You know, having that phone call, that text followed up by a video is creating that, you know, there's that dealership SEO, you know, so to say, where they can get a hold of you in any form. And that's what's beautiful about it. But then when they get to your site, how are you, you know, not only are you calling them with your video, but how are you distinguishing yourself from, you know, we're a GMC dealer. How am I distinguishing this dealership from the other competitor, which is only, you know, an hour and a half to 2 hour drive away? You know, so one of those things is we're a family owned dealership, you know, so having, you know, pictures of the family of the dealership, reasons why they should shop here. And then building that relationship with the customer, having a relationship with your customers is going to be important. You know, we're not looking to get somebody, you know, screw them over and say bye. You know, it's that whole relationship. When it comes down to it, is just building relationships with customers, and that's how you hold on to them longer, you know. And then we're going to have we have a lot of repeat business, and so that's what we thrive on, is repeat business. And having video is one of those things where, you know, they get that, you know, that transparency of who you are, who they're going to come see, exactly what they're going to come see in a vehicle that they were interested in. And so at the end of the day, I think having a relationship with your customer is going to ultimately, in the long run.
Well, you know, let me jump in on that point for a second, because we're all talking about the same thing, getting back to the customers quickly. And I'm going to throw a curveball at everybody, because there's a lot of people using AI. Okay. One of the benefits of AI, in my personal opinion, is speed. Because I know there's a lot of car salesmen out there that they have faces made for radio. You don't want them in the video. Okay. But if you have the ability to have AI where somebody sends a request and, hey, I'm interested in this Ford F-150. And you can have AI through your CRM or whatever, create a quick little video of that car with somebody talking to them. but the AI looks good, and it's just kind of like a talking head explaining it, you know, it goes back out to the customer. What's your feelings and what's your thoughts about how the customer is going to respond to that?
Can I jump in there, Ian?
Absolutely. Go ahead, Bill.
Sure.
I think you kind of hit the nail on the head, because I don't know if you're familiar with Numa.com, but I'm one of the original developers, and I'm an investor in the company. So we use AI very effectively for service scheduling, answering phones, voice text command, conversations between the AI and the consumer that we would typically lose because the advisor's busy or we're closed or it's after hours. And they can make such requests on the fixed operations side, including us sending videos of what's wrong with the car. They walk around with a technician. Everything that you're talking about, very effective. What we're working on is cataloging the walkarounds and videos of particular models so that AI can access it like it would a VDP. We're also working on AI software on the front end of the business so that when a customer calls in and makes an inquiry, if they can't get a live person on the phone, when they communicate with the AI portal, anything that needs to be served up to the customer, that the AI software can access it, whether it's a VDP, a video, just like you said, pricing, our inventory, the about us, direct, and whatever it may be. Because over time, as you well know, the intuitive logic based on the data flow will allow the software, it should allow the AI software to become more fleet of foot in terms of answering questions as it moves forward, right? So, yeah, I mean, I think really at the end of the day, it'll have everybody on this call that does things the way they do it. The use of AI will bring all that together in a bit of a kaleidoscopic kind of view, if you will, to work together. But I think that really, because just think for a moment, if you catalog all the videos, right, on all the cars, new model comes out, you have your best salesperson get dressed up, they do a walk around the car, you catalog that. AI has a link to that catalog and can access that depending on what the customer's, suppose a customer even makes an inquiry via the internet, right? And based on that internet to the IP address, the AI automatically sorts what's cataloged as a walk around for that car and sends it right back to the customer with our VDP and our best offer on that vehicle and an appraisal on their trade if they were a previous customer of ours, because they can link that to auto alert.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's opportunity. I mean, I know thanks for that, Bill. I know Phil was talking about a video, but more importantly, response, but personalized response. So maybe, Phil, you can talk a little bit about that and what you guys are doing with that right now, actually.
Yeah. So currently, the challenge is even though what Jacob mentioned before is his team is, a lead comes in, they grab one of the LESA walk around videos that the photographer have already shot. The salesperson just grabs it. He or she doesn't have to go out and shoot a video like Bill's team is doing and then sending it out. They can just select one from the inventory and personalizing it with a picture and sending it out. We still have a challenge of getting them to do that consistently across the board. And so, we are using AI to address that issue, which allowing the salesperson to upload a photo of themselves, and then we, make that person come alive, an AI avatar come alive of that person, and be able to send the video out in a very timely manner. It definitely reduces the time. It can create consistency, and also, solves the problem of people don't want to get on camera sometimes, because maybe they don't have a good day or hairdo or whatever. So it solves that problem, and so I think AI can be used in those instances to address frictions in the process in the sales process, I think. So yeah.
Thanks, So if you're dealing with, say, leads at 2 a.m. or when you're closed, I mean, Lindsay, Jacob, or Luke, I don't know who wants to start. Do you have any process there where you're using LESA and an AI video to help with that lead response if you're not open currently?
Well, as of right now, LESA doesn't have that AI engagement, or we haven't touched it yet. I've heard about it, and that would be remote, so beneficial. I think Will hits it right on the head with that. As if you have that and you can get that sent out like that, that's huge. And yes, you have some salespeople who do it perfectly. They do the video exactly how you taught them. I got 6 different stores. I got 40 different salespeople. They all have their own way of doing things, even though I give them the process. And if you can narrow that down and get it to do the same thing every time, the right thing at 2 a.m. or 2 p.m, that's huge. So far, we haven't had that from LESA, the AI engagement, but I could see if you send me a lead and it automatically pings a video of that car with a voice, with a talking beautiful head. Let's pick a redhead at this point. You got me, right? So I think it's huge. I think it's the future. I hope that's what LESA is going for. I hope that's where videos are heading, because again, getting out to that customer right away is extreme and is important. And outside of that too, I mean, you also have to think about it this way. If your presence isn't adding value to somebody, your absence won't make a difference. So whatever we can do to get in front of somebody, it's going to add value. I don't care what you say or how you do it or where you do it. If your presence doesn't add value, your absence won't make a difference. And I feel like we've been seeing the value. And when you give me AI bots to do this, I'll get it done and I'll do it, Phil. So you just let me know.
That's something we just released that just a few months ago. So I'll go through it with you later.
Get my free month. Give me some of that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes.
Lindsay, any thoughts on AI video and response? I mean, obviously you can't be open 100% of the time, and probably you don't want to be talking to a customer at 2 a.m. anyway. But what do you think?
We would absolutely love that option of doing that, because, I mean, again, a lot of times, even if they are here in the dealership, we are open, they might be with a customer and have one waiting right behind them. That means, oh my God, how are they going to go out and make this video? It's not possible. They can, hey, I'm going to take a bathroom break and go and come back. Nobody knows anything, and he's getting more customers lined up for the rest of the day.
Fantastic.
So I think AI would be a great tool.
Yeah, definitely want to talk to Phil about that and see how we can help your team with that. Luke, what are your thoughts on, your people are busy, you can't get the response out, maybe you need a quality response, maybe you don't have the warm bodies to do it, or you're not open. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of a gray area, right? There was a huge little convention that was specifically on AI that I attended, and I think when it comes to like AI salespeople, I think a lot of people are straying away from that. They do want to have that personal relationship with the customer, having them come into the store, meet the salesperson, and knowing exactly who they're working with, I think is still going to be important moving forward. But those overnight, lead response times, I get it. I still think the quality has to be there too. I don't want to put together like a cartoon or anything, like
Bart Simpson or something. No.
Yeah.
Right.
It's actually going to be of yourself. It's going to be a picture of you, and you're going to come alive. So it's not like an AI generated avatar. It's just going to get better too.
Hey, Ian, what Luke said, I just want to kudos to Luke for what he just said. Two perspectives I'd just like to just share with everybody on that topic. One, forget your political affiliations, but the President of the United States will never be a chatbot, right? If AI was a solution, why isn't that our President of the United States, a little machine? You wouldn't marry a square box that had a screen on it, right? humans innately want to be wanted, loved, liked, cared for, and they want to experience integrity. Those are basic human needs. It will always be that. That's why everybody seeks, quote unquote, the right person. That being said, when people go to the reason why so much software and so much digital technology has become the thing in our industry is because of the lack of trust that customers have for the human beings that they run into. When a customer gets out of that car, they expect three things: bullshit, money games, and wasting time. That's what they expect. If your employees don't waste time, they don't bullshit the customer, and they don't play money games, it doesn't mean you can't make money. You just got to tell, instead of trying to tell the customer, hey, we're not making any money, you don't say that. This is the value of this vehicle. The price I'm giving you represents the value of the vehicle. Everything changes. The reason why customers bought into the internet early on, as if you all remember, if you think back in time, I've been around a lot longer than everybody on this call, is when the internet first became a thing, you all heard people say things like, hey, it's got to be true. I just read it on the internet. Right? We all heard that. But that changed, right? How often do you go on X? How often do you go on Instagram? How often do you go on TikTok and say, that's not real, that's AI? How could that possibly happen? So our lack of trust has become more about what we see digitally than what we see from human beings now. It's going to continue to go around the maypole that way. Some of you don't even know where a maypole is, but it's going to continue to go around and circle that way. The best way, in my opinion, is to get a contiguous, conceptual, or not even conceptual, a reality that the customer feels between the human interaction and the digital experience. If we can accomplish that, however you get to that, that's the best scenario that you can establish. So if there's a phone call and you talk to a customer, if there's AI and the human being they run into that interact seem to deliver the same message, the same numbers, that's the goal. That's paramount to anything else that we can do. And all follow-up should be done, not just by digital text. It's got to be a human being that makes the first attempt, and the digital backs it up. Human being always makes the first attempt. Human being always makes the first attempt to answer a call. Human being always makes the first attempt to sell a car. That's why we do things on a grassroots level here, because we want to give the customer that sense of the everyman, the normal person. This can't possibly be AI generated. Who would drive in their car like Bill Camastro with a cell phone and a cup phone to talk real time to somebody while he's stuck in traffic? I don't do that because I love doing it. I do it because I know how it's received on the other side. So if you're doing video, my opinion is it's not just what you guys want to deliver to the market. Part of the problem is the dealerships and dealer groups that buy your services. What is their process, and what's the periphery around that can either take that video, make it, take it to a nuclear level, or take that video and make it an expense monthly. And I think everybody that is a vendor for any products at all, you need to think of it from that perspective. Because if you think it's going to solve dealers' problems, it's not going to. In fact, at the dealership level, when the employees think that the software is going to sell them more cars, they're going to cancel in 3 months. That's what they're going to do. Your churn is going to come from the employee in the dealership who wants to not work a process, to believe that digital voice is going to handle all their problems. It's the magical pixie dust we've been waiting for. Again, my opinion, my experience doesn't speak for everybody, but I just, in the 4 different software companies I work with and help develop, I focus more on the end user and the recipient of the information on the other side of the desk.
Yeah.
That human beings and digital software is so critical. That balance is so critical to success, in my opinion.
That's a great point. I mean, when you look at it, how did you get buy-in from your teams? I mean, we've got a bunch of dealers on. How did you get buy-in from the team to say, hey, this is great, I want to use it every single day? Like, how did you get the buy-in there? Because we're almost out of time.
Actually, I have already used it on a previous, with a previous, so I had already known the benefits of it, and I just expressed them to my boss here. it just takes a lot of weight off of their plate. They already have so much to deal with. They don't need to worry about, are you doing it right? What are you slipping up on? What are you doing wrong? There's none of that. There's just, you want to see the car, you can see the video. If you like the video, if you like the car, the vehicle, then you submit your application or your information. That's when our live team steps in and creates that,
Yeah.
personal.
Jacob, how did you get people bought into it? And, how did that work in your end?
Yeah, a lot like Lindsay, we already had a video process in place. We were having our salespeople go out, clean cars, shoot them perfectly. We were very, very adept to our process and the things that we do. And I think that the buy-in came from the salespeople when they started. You lose engagement from salespeople when you send out, you get 54 leads in a month and you send every single one of them a video. They've only watched 18 of them, right? Now all of a sudden my salesperson is discouraged to go do a video because only 18 people watch the video. Why did I spend 2-3 minutes cleaning it, washing it, doing all these things with a car, and the customer didn't even open it or come in? So I think we gained a lot of engagement from the salespeople because they now are doing the video at their desk. We're giving top form of the car that's out on the lot.
Yep.
And if they have engagement from the customer, from the video they send, then they do exactly what Bill's saying, is get out there, you shoot a personalized video, you get in front of it, and you give them or you set an appointment, obviously, and you don't do a video. But at the end of the day, I think Will's right. A lot of people come in and they're just like, they think we're liars. They think we're BSers, and that's not what we're here to do. And that video is another step. So a 2-step process with this video program, I think, is important. It's the first one. It takes very little interaction engagement from a salesperson. The second one, as Bill is saying, it has to be personalized. It has to be that touch. So I think we gained engagement from that because we're already doing videos in the process. We're doing a video could take anywhere from 15 minutes to 30 minutes. So big deal.
Luke, how did you get people engaged, and what's been the response there from the sales team members or the people who handle the leads?
Yeah, it's been a tough road for that, but I think the biggest mistake dealerships are trying to do is sell the technology to the salespeople. The salespeople, I don't think necessarily care about the technology unless they're young and they're savvy like me. Right. I care about it. They care more about selling cars and making money. And so for us, I think it's just having it available, just having that option. One of my salespeople right now will use it at their desk as part of their process and have the customer sit down at their desk. And if there's any downtime between them walking to the sales manager or whatnot, hey, watch this video of the vehicle we just drove, sit down and listen to this while I go talk to my manager. And then they're actually being engaged, thinking about the vehicle while he's running to get numbers or anything else they're asking about, keeping their mind off the price of the vehicle or something, just keeping them back on the vehicle, and engaged. And so I thought that was really creative from the salesperson of just having that video that I created right there in front of the customer while he's, building that relationship with them. So I think for us, it's just a tool right now. It's just an option for them to have. But I do like the dealer video suite from LESA, just having videos that you can store in there and just being able to quickly send them off. But right now, our salespeople aren't, they haven't been sold completely on it, but it's available to them and they know it.
So still some selling need to be done to them. So I guess that's my final question for you, Philip. Like, how easy is it to get started with LESA? Obviously, you can go to LESAautomotive.com, but how easy is it for a dealer to get started? And obviously, they want to take advantage of that offer. Like, what do you do to help the dealer get started and make sure that it sticks?
Yeah, we work with a lot of dealerships, and it's a common question we get is how difficult is it to get started? And so we've come up with a platform that we'll make it extremely easy for them to get started. It's just a matter of downloading an app. If you have every single dealership will have a photographer, right? Either an in-house photographer or they use a lot service company. And we simply just put that app into that photographer's hands. We train them, and then we make it extremely easy for them to capture the entire inventory. You don't have to take the car out, especially just to take the video, right? The car is already out. You just took photos of the car. You spend literally just another 2 minutes. So that's another misconception that it's gonna slow my photographer down. I need the photos out. That's not true either. Where it's literally can take as long as 90 seconds even to do the video, upload it to us, and then we take care of the rest. We add background music, voiceover, AI voiceover that presents the vehicle and all these options, and it automatically then shows up on the dealership website. There's no fees to send, so as soon as you upload it, within like an hour or so, the video is already up on the site. So that's really quick. So we try to make it as simple as possible. That's one of the things that we pride ourselves in is allow the frictions to get started. For the salespeople to also be able to easily just grab whatever they need to shoot, to do the video they want to send, and to send it without having to go out and shoot anything. It's really, as Lindsay said, you're not really you're spending a lot of time, and you're not really using the salesperson's time effectively, right? Right. In this case, you can have a salesperson lined up the next person and be more efficient in addressing customers as they come into the store.
Thanks very much.
So yeah.
Peter, final word to you, and thanks very much for everybody for taking the time today. Really appreciate it. Go ahead, Phil. Go ahead, Peter.
Well, first, I want to thank everybody for joining us today. I do want to just end on an important note. We were talked a lot about engagement and speed, and one of the things that Bill talked about was how some of the technology he's working on and his whole idea. I love his concept about having a library of videos. I think that is groundbreaking. Having a library of videos where they can pull from. And I do believe, Phil, you have something similar to that. I'm not sure if it's the length of the library that he's talking about, but you have a library. So I think there is some stuff out there. So I highly recommend that you take a look at what Phil's doing, because he's got that ability to tie in a personalized message using an AI avatar, which actually looks pretty good. I've seen some of them from the salesperson, and then basically connecting it to what Bill was talking about, having an actual video of the car. So now the person gets a video from the person saying, hey, this is Peter with Reichert Ford. I want to tell you a little bit about this Ford F-150. And he's actually doing a little walk around the video. Because I think the faster you can get back to the customer with a personal message and the car, the faster they're going to be in the dealership stroking you a check.
Thanks very much for taking the time, everybody. Thanks, Peter, and everyone on the call. I know a lot of you haven't been on the show before. And thanks, Bill, for all your insight and your opinions. Have yourself a great day, and good luck on the Cadillac front, Bill. Bye for now.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you for helping the industry get better today live.